I gotta go too, but
Okay. Yo, I think we're live. What's going on? Welcome
hello.
to Married with Issues. We got a special this week. What is it? It's issue 38. And
Yes.
last week we did our personal 2019 year in review.
Love it.
And this week we wanted to get a bunch of the community together. So, we'll probably have some other people dropping by as we go on. But starting things off, we got Santa Puff Claus over here.
Is that a reindeer?
That is crazy.
That is great. I love it.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
Yep, I have to wear it today.
You got a gremlin up in there?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You don't look like one.
That's awesome.
And we have Matt, the boy who had 7. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to be here hanging out with you guys. Finally get to be on your show, which is cool.
Yeah, we're stoked to have you. Yeah, it's about time, right?
Yep. No, thanks for having me, guys. And what's up to everyone else out there?
For sure. And we got our direct edition bro, and Comic Books NYC.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on the show. I haven't been on YouTube much the past couple of weeks. Kind of keeping things chill, and I like to be able to hop on other people's channels. So this is fun. So
it is. I always like being on others.
Yeah, I like being on other people's channels more than doing my own content. So that's,
I kind of do too. It's definitely a lot more laid back.
Yeah.
Because you're not controlling the stream and doing all that.
Less pressure. Yeah, less pressure on yourself. So.
Yeah. So, what? Go ahead.
I just like having a panel full of people to talk with. On any live stream.
Yeah.
It's so much fun when you're having conversations.
Amen, man.
Exactly, and that's exactly what the goal for this week it was. It's just discuss 2019 pretty much. Some of our favorite covers, books, titles, some of our favorite reads. Let's start with Stay Puft. What was your favorite title this year? I guess like ongoing title you were reading.
Well, I enjoyed Die. That was pretty good. I like the Die.
I like that one.
There was another one I still read Black Panther and enjoy it. It has its ups and downs, but it's still consistent with me at least. And then I still read Birthright. I'm enjoying Once and Future. That came out at the end of the year, and that's been pretty solid for me.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about that. I haven't checked it out yet, but
yeah,
it's Karen Gillan, right?
Yeah.
He wrote Die also. He
did Die, and I knew when Once and Future came out, I had to pick that up because I enjoyed Die. I
first started reading Karen Gillan because he did the first Darth Vader run for Marvel.
Oh yeah.
And I really liked that run, and I like the Charles Soule run of that too. But probably even more than that. But that's where I first saw his name on a book, and then I started exploring some of his other stuff, and I like Die a lot also. So.
I've been reading his stuff since he was doing X-Men.
Right. Yeah, I never read his X-Men stuff. So.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from this one.
Oh, sweet. Yep.
Yeah.
I've really been wanting to dive into this, and
it's good.
It's good. Both volumes of the Darth Vader book by Karen Gillan and Charles Soule, respectively, are fantastic reads. So.
Heck yeah.
Hey.
I wasn't big on Dr. Afra as much. I didn't really see her.
Did you write that?
No.
I don't think
she was in his Darth Vader.
She showed up in the third issue of the 2015.
I never really got the whole thing with her. I'm like, she's not that important in terms of canon wise, so I never really got the big deal of what purpose does she really serve.
I like her character, but I haven't read much of her separate ongoing, her own series or whatever. I haven't read as much of that, so I don't know as much of what's happened with her character versus just what's been in Darth Vader or in the main, the main Star Wars title or whatever, where she's only shows up every once in a while, So
yeah,
can't really comment on her own series.
Another book I've been enjoying is the current Red Sonja run. That book's been really good. I think that book has been surprisingly good, like better than the last volume, in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, I do just want to give a shout out to the chat. Hey, Bueller, Comics with Bueller, thanks for joining us.
What's up, Bueller?
Christmas. Good to see you, Metarog. And everyone else, thank you so much for being here, Perry.
Perry.
Roger's in the house. What's up, Perry?
I'm on the road.
Yeah, Perry says I just enjoy those covers. Yeah.
There's some nice covers.
I know we're definitely guilty of the cover buys as well.
Everybody is.
Yeah, everybody is.
Exactly. I mean, because like we I don't know. I hate that we're into it sometimes, but at the same time,
I don't.
I used to be more aggressive with my cover buying, I guess, if you will. Like, right, I think nowadays I keep it to like one cover buy a week max, and then most weeks I don't have any cover buys. It's just am I reading it or am I not reading it kind of thing. Most of the time these days.
Like I brought that Action Comics, I think, the Perillo cover just for the cover. And I don't. Yeah. I haven't read Superman since Bendis took over.
Right.
Yeah. I really wish they would have let. Was it Jurgens that was doing it right before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they would have kept him at least on one of them.
Yeah.
You know, like
I liked the Gleason run too. The what's the name? Who worked with Pat Gleason on Superman?
Yeah.
His name is escaping me. Oh, Peter Tomasi.
Oh, yeah.
He's writing detective now.
Yeah, I enjoyed his Superman run.
Yep.
Yeah, Tomasi is the one. We actually went back and I put that whole run together in singles, but I haven't really started reading. I mean, I read some of the last stuff because that's actually right when we started collecting it again.
I just
right before Bendis jumped on.
Bueller, yeah, I was laughing at that too. I mean, I'll definitely buy blank. For me, if I'm buying a blank cover, I know there's more than the $4.99 investment going on. Yeah. I know that I'm dropping some cash later on down the line.
One of these days, someone will be making it beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a much bigger than the cover price investment anytime you buy a blank cover, at least for me.
See, if we had better, like if our con got better creators and stuff, we would be all over the blank covers for sure. But it's I mean, our last couple has gotten a little bit better.
This is the type of sketch variant you want to get.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice, man.
It's Brian Stelfleeze.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I still love the idea that came about this year. It's like getting a sketchbook, and then like when you go to cons, having the artist sign the sketchbook. I don't remember exactly who had started it, but that's a brilliant idea.
Seawood was the first that I saw, but he's got an awesome book going, and
Seawood in Discovery Bay.
Yeah, I don't have a sketchbook. I just get one-off sketch covers type thing, personally.
Right. Yeah, Pup mentioned Perillo. He's probably one of my favorite cover artists now. I think when I started noticing his work was that Green Lantern cover. I think it was 6, maybe. I think it might have been issue 6. But that Green Lantern cover he did is it's incredible.
Yeah, Perillo's great. I mean, for me, like Perillo and then like Del Otto, they're kind of like they're both really up there. I think I like Del Otto a little bit more. Like this is a Del Otto, and this is my favorite mini series or whatever series of 2019. But this Del Otto cover for or variant is just absolutely awesome.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, if I were to answer that question, favorite series / run / mini series, it's kind of cheating in a way because it ran across so many different titles. Like there were a lot of other titles, there were a lot of tie-ins, but really I say like Venom / Absolute Carnage. Like cool. What Donny Cates did in the Symbiotes world in general, whether it was in the Venom title or the Absolute Carnage miniseries or all the tie-ins to that storyline. For me, that was my top, that was my top storyline, I guess, of 2019. My second top storyline was House of X, Powers of 10. I just got, literally the hardcover came in the mail today.
Yeah, I got that coming.
Yeah, dude. So
I have it coming too. I'm gonna actually email my LCS after this show,
Nice.
and if it's in, I'm gonna go get it.
Nice. And I'm really looking forward to rereading that like in a binge style format instead of like, week to week to week to week to week to week. But I did read the whole thing, 12 weeks in a row whenever, in the fall when it was coming out. And I really just liked what was done with the sort of resetting of the universe while still kind of like paying respect to the storylines and the creators that came before within X-Men. So I really enjoyed that. And then number 3 for me, which is like my, I guess, unexpected pick for me was Old Man Quill. Like for me, that was, I just really, really loved that series. Like it was, to me, it was like the surprise series for me where like I knew I would enjoy it, but I didn't know I would quite enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it. / almost got like emotional, like not Boy Who Had 7 level emotional, but Comic Books NYC level emotional while reading that at several points throughout that storyline. And like maybe 6-7 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, I noticed that that there was some original art pages from that up on Comic Link. So I snagged 3 original art pages from that. That's how strongly I felt about that series. So I picked up 2 pages from the first issue and a page from the second issue. And the page from the second issue I framed, and I brought it out for this stream right here. So it's really, really cool. Especially that bottom panel where you see all the Guardians from Old Man Quill, issue number 2. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, man, definitely one of my favorite series of the year. Unexpectedly was Old Man Quill. But Absolute Carnage / Venom and House of X Powers of 10 were my number 1 and 2. So.
Yeah, I actually finally just got Absolute Carnage 1.
Number 1.
Yeah, so far, yeah. So I'm finally gonna read that. I'll probably pick up the other parts today if we end up going, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great read.
You're in for a good read, man.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, that's all I hear. Andy from England, every time he comments or something, he's like, "Have you read it yet? Have you read it yet? Have you read it?"
And really, the issues that are happening concurrently in Venom are also like very, very critical, I think, to that storyline. Like you can skip probably, at least 50% of the other tie-in stuff. Like I'm sure they'll do an omnibus or something where they have the 5 main, miniseries issues, all the tie-ins, the relevant Venom issues. I'm waiting for that omnibus, honestly, because I want it. But because I think it would be cool to read it in that kind of style where it's like they're putting in the tie-ins in the right order. As a lot of these Marvel events, they get so confusing, you know what I mean, with like the number of tie-ins and the number of books and like the reading order and stuff like that. So like half the time it's like it's just easier to buy the hardcover later on, and just binge read the whole event that way. So I'm probably gonna do that moving forward instead of buying all those single issues.
What up,
Bueller?
We got Bueller in the house.
Yes.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, everybody?
How's it
Good
going?
to see you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all. I love
Bueller?
Bueller's hat. He's got some weird thing going on in his hat.
What? Oh, yeah, Gremlin.
You want me to play it again for you, man?
No. I've seen it twice already today. Twice is good enough, buddy.
I don't know. You might like the jingle, man.
I know. It makes me feel a little uncomfortable every time I see it. I don't know why.
I know, it gets moving.
It really does. Oh.
That's funny.
Comics with best.
All right, so since Bueller just dropped in, what was one of some of your favorite reads this year?
One of my favorites was probably Deceased from
Yes.
DC. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in Marvel, I can't really think of anything from Marvel that kind of stood out. I mean, there were some good stories, don't get me wrong, but nothing really was like, oh man, that I loved it so much type thing. But my biggest thing this year, and I just had this conversation with my buddy Bob, my independent titles on my pull list have grown so much this year, and I've so much enjoyed other publishers besides Marvel and DC a lot this year. Boom Studios, Image Comics, Vault, just a ton of them. There's so many good things out there. So it's weird to see my taste kind of changing, to be totally honest.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's funny because I could see that happening to me too, because she's more indie than Marvel or DC.
And by far, yeah, indies are some of the best, I think, and it's just I'm a real sucker for the indie titles because it's like just they're killing it this year, though.
Yeah, my top 5 books are all indie titles this year. Besides, like the event, like Deceased, which I consider kind of an event. You know, I look at Something Is Killing the Children. I look at Folklores. I look at Midnight Vista, Mall. All those were probably some of my favorite books that come out this year, and they're all independent titles. Farmhand, Legend said Farm, another great one. Farmhand, Middle West, Oblivion.
Middle West was good, yeah.
All over.
Yeah, Middle West was good.
I haven't read one of those. I need to get on that.
I read Middle West up to issue 10, and then I kind of got to catch up.
I like when Emmys take those breaks and you behind. So when they take a month or 2 month break, it gives you time to catch up.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed they do with Monstrous even too, because I'm so hooked to that book. It's an incredible story, but they'll take a break and then the trade will come out and then they'll come back, and it's just the timing is perfect, because that's one where I double dip, where I want the single issues, I want the trade paperbacks, because it's like trade paperbacks and indies is just what I love most. It's easiest that way.
That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm waiting for the Once and Future trade to come out, because I didn't get it on any of those books. And I think the trade comes out in February or something like that, so I can get caught up and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, that's when I'll hop on it also. When the trade.
I heard it's supposed to be really good. I remember I picked up the first issue and I gave it to somebody or whatnot, and I never went back and got it again. But I've heard nothing but good things about Once and Future. So
I love getting volume 1 trades for indies. Like like I usually just speed through those in a single sitting, and they're fun that way. And then you know what it's about and how much you like it, and then you may work it into your pull list or whatever. But yeah, I love those volume 1 trades.
I know one disappointment for me this year. I could save that for later, but the book that's been on break forever and has not come back yet, Saga.
Yeah,
that needs to come back.
And we just jumped on it this year, so
that one is such a good read.
Yeah, I've been able to reread the whole series during the.
I reread it before it was supposed to come back.
Yeah.
I was anticipating.
I mean, I actually, I went to a signing with Brian K. Vaughan at Midtown Comics 3 months ago. He said that they're itching to start getting it back. They're getting back into working on it, but he didn't really offer any specifics when I asked him about it. So, and then he was there for Paper Girls, and it was the final issue of Paper Girls. So I don't know how much he wanted to talk about Saga,
Right.
But he was super nice and everything, and I really can't wait. I mean, that's at the top of my list as far as indies. We're waiting for it to come back. So.
Yeah, hopefully they're at least working on it right now, getting a few issues in the can, and hopefully we'll see it soon. But because that's actually I was going to ask is if any of you guys have heard any news or anything on it, because I don't seem to see
nothing concrete. Concrete.
It's
just hearsay. Just hearsay and a sense of Brian K. Vaughan wanting to get back on cycle with it, but I don't know what that means. It could just be he could just saving face by having saying that kind of stuff to fans. I don't know.
Exactly.
Sometimes these breaks can derail the momentum of a book for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
By far.
Another series that I loved was Lazarus by Greg Rucka. And then that been on hiatus a couple of times. And then after a long hiatus, it came back in quarterly fashion, where 4 books a year. And it's thicker books, but you gotta wait for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took me out. I don't even think my shops add that to my pull, and I didn't even bother asking about it because it's just been so long. I'll just wait for the trade.
Yeah.
Speaking of long, and I avoided Doomsday Clock for and now it took 3 years for finally the whole thing to come out. So I'm dying to get that trade, whatever hardcover, whatever collected version of it, because I just didn't, I never caught up somewhere in the middle during this 3 year
I think I stopped halfway.
Period.
I stopped halfway, like issue 6. And then so many delays. I kept getting 7 through 11, but I never read them because it was I don't even remember what happened to 6 now.
Yeah, you need to read anytime a new issue came out, you need to reread the last few issues that came out forever ago. So it's I couldn't keep up with that kind of process.
When you hear the next issue come out, such and such this month, you'd be like, man, I'm not even gonna bother.
Those are the ones that you just trade weight on.
Yeah. Well,
I trade weighted on that for sure.
I was buying all the singles as they were coming out, but just not reading it. So now that they're all out, I started reading it finally last night, and I read about half of issue 1 and fell asleep.
It's a heavy, long, congested read, man.
It is.
Have you read it, Matt?
Yeah, the only one I have not read is the one that just came out. So I've been collecting it as it comes out. I get 2 copies, the A and the B cover. But I'm with you guys. I forgot what happened before.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep going because I'm too lazy to go back and read the issue before it. Eventually I'll read it all together. But. So.
It gets like that sometimes with me when I read, where I'm like, okay, don't entirely remember what happened in the last issue, but I'm just gonna go ahead and read this one, and halfway through reading the new one, I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember that now. Okay.
What was your favorite read, Matt? Do you have one?
Yeah.
So everything you mentioned. Well, first of all, I'm Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
And the only thing outside of that is Shredder in Hell, which I thought was epic.
TMNT is on my list, probably number 5. If I were to go further down my list.
Yeah,
so.
This was really good, and now it has me collecting TMNT number 100. Because it went from here into 100, and that's the first time I've collected a Turtle book. So I'm excited about that read. And then I think Deceased was amazing. X-Men was amazing. Hickman's X-Men, Absolute Carnage. But one that you guys didn't mention was from Marvel, Immortal Hulk.
Right.
I'm a big Immortal Hulk fan. This story is really, really good. I love the way each issue starts out with some type of quote, and then that story's been great. So I'm really in love with this. And then a Spidey book, my favorite Spidey book. I ended up dropping all my Spidey books except for Friendly Neighborhood.
I love Friendly Neighborhood, dude.
It's so
yeah. That's my number 4. Yeah. That's my number 4. But the problem is it's already over. It's over after 14 issues. That's the 14th and final issue, and it's damn. All right, that's it.
Isn't Tom Taylor doing that one?
Say that again.
Isn't Tom Taylor doing that one?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
For me, it's weird because I loved that so much, but I personally hated Deceased. I couldn't stand it. So I didn't like, and it's the same writer, but
I really like Deceased. I love the art on the covers. I love the story. That story got me.
I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, but I think at DC, my 2 favorite. I don't know. I probably have to go with Detective Comics. I'm really been digging Detective all year.
Yeah, Tomasi's been doing good.
Yeah, that's been the best Batman book for me.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then I love Justice League Dark. I don't know if any of you are into that, but Justice League Dark.
I haven't been reading it, but I've heard of it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man, and it has to do with kind of what's going on with the Justice League regular issues, but it's kind of got its own vibe to it. It's really good. It's really good.
Was that James Tynion, or was he doing a different?
Yeah.
Or was that Snyder?
No, Snyder's doing.
Snyder's doing the regular one.
He was regular, yeah.
It's Tynion for sure.
I started with Justice League Dark, and then I kind of dropped it because pull get big. You got to make some cuts.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's what I was going to mention that earlier too. My problem is that I read so much that sometimes I'm like, what did I even read last week?
Yeah, it gets like that.
Yeah.
This is literally my stack. Okay, these are full to the brim. All right. I still have to read because I have not read, and this one too. Like they're totally full.
I hate to admit it, but my stack's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah. But this stack is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Meaning, like what I read on the digital side versus what I read on the physical side. I'm starting to gravitate more towards iPad reading. Yep. Like for books that I'm like, you know, on the fence on. Like I'll continue reading on the digital side for a little while, but. You know, like I just don't have the space here in New York City. Like I don't have like a garage. I don't have a basement. I don't have like I could rent like an external storage unit situation or whatever, but I that's not something I really feel that comfortable with. So, so at some point or another, it's like I either have to continually shift out new books from like, let's say maybe new books from 18 to 24 months ago, I'll have to start shifting out in order to make room for 2020's new books. That's my only choice. Or, you know, do the whole like trim down physical and increase digital strategy. Yeah. So
I had turned into such a hypocrite because it's like we were getting so many books and he had so many titles that he cuts like almost near half of them, if not more. And then now recently I have more titles than he does. And I'm like, about that. Yeah, we need this one and that one. So it's like I'm even in the process of cutting down some of my titles because I'm like, okay.
And I'm just looking at her, shaking my head. And she's like, what? You've never seen a hypocrite before?
But the first time I'd ever heard that, you said it to me. So,
I know.
Yeah.
Turnabout better player, right?
I'll tell you my favorite read of the year, though. It didn't come out this year, but I barely discovered it this year. And that was. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Oh, come on.
Yeah, because we actually did that on our show, too. We mentioned stuff that we read this year, but not necessarily came out this year.
Yeah, Green Lantern Rebirth by Jeff Johns.
Oh, yeah.
So stinking good. That run is absolutely killer. Killer.
Yeah, I got all 3 omnibuses, the Jeff Johns omnibuses. And those suckers are massive, but man, when I got to that 3rd book, I was like, that was such a good read, man.
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow! Yeah, I tried switching it to Matt when he was showing that, but
I know I saw
my computer's running slow.
There was a delay. We're still the amateurs when it comes to
this computer's old and slow and yeah.
True.
But no, I was gonna say the same thing because we got those Omnis as well, and yeah, they are massive. I did start reading the first one, and it's really good. The art too, I love. I think it was Ivan Reis. I think was the interior that I was reading.
Yep.
Yeah. And Kavi touched on it a little bit earlier. So what was some of your guys's kind of like sleeper hits? Kavi, you said earlier, I think Old Man Quill.
Yeah, for me, Old Man Quill was something where it's like, okay, I'll probably just like this or enjoy this, and it's like a throwaway read. But I actually got much more out of it than that, which was unexpected. So.
Right. Yeah, one of my favorites of last year was Old Man Hawkeye.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
Yep. Hawkeye and Quill were awesome. My favorite, believe it or not, I love this title. I picked it up around issue 17, but Supergirl. I don't really talk about it that often, but I love that title.
It was on my pull list. I was getting it.
Never read it.
20-something.
Never read it.
It's great, man, and it's one that I can read with my daughters too, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good story because it pertained to what was going on with Superman and everything.
Mark and Draco still writing it? Or somebody else writing it?
I don't know now, but that's who was writing it at the time, when I was reading it.
He was writing it now because I just got the latest issue. It's Hauser.
Jody Hauser.
Oh, Jody Hauser.
She's great. I love her, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
It's still good right now.
One sleeper one that I'd have to say is the one that came out this year, and it's been my favorite. I haven't read this issue yet, but it's still been one of my favorite runs so far this year is Catwoman.
Oh yeah, Joel Jones.
Joel Jones. I think she's been killing it. incredible read, and I feel like
And
it's
I
kind
love
of a
that
sleeper.
cover.
Every issue I've read, I've really enjoyed. Unfortunately, I haven't read it in order. Like, I've read, because there have been all these awesome like variants and stuff. Like, that's one of the series where I will cover buy a lot more than other series because of the covers. So I've been like, so I have like bits and pieces of that run in a short box, and I've read all of them that I have, but I haven't read it from 1 to 18 or wherever it's at now.
Yeah, that's the one book that I have at least 2 copies of, because of all those artwork covers that were gorgeous, and then the readers, and like even this cover is just killer. I love how it's an homage to her first appearance. Like,
yeah, I love that it's a different take. It's a modern take on her first appearance outfit, her old outfit.
The new variants are a bit of a letdown though, because the art germs were so amazing.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with that. I guess.
These newer ones, they're okay.
I like that cover. Come on, man.
That's a cool cover. Where she's lying on the thing and the bats are behind her or whatever. Yeah, I like that one.
That was such a good cover. We had tried to order it, but it wasn't in our pool.
Yeah, I think it done.
Is that really the first time that approach to a cover has ever been done? Because I feel like somebody should have figured that out a long time ago and done that.
That's what I said. When I saw it.
Yeah.
We didn't do this before. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh, it's a great idea. It's just the art isn't the same level that art germs at.
Yeah, I think isn't it Chris Anka? I think did that.
I think so.
Is it that did that one? I think.
Yeah.
Matt's kind of used to having all the art germ.
Is that the recent issue?
Doesn't all the art germ characters look exactly the same? You can't tell the difference between Supergirl and whatever female character he does.
You know what?
Well, I said that. I say that with J. Scott Campbell too.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have, they go back to the well.
But look at this. Look at this. This is insane.
Yeah, that's
my favorite cover.
Insane.
That's one of my all times. Yeah,
that was my screensaver for a good half of the year.
That's not real. That's not even a real comic book. That's a fake thing.
Shout out to Lindsay's Geeked Out Knickknacks because she sent my kids that one. So.
Nice.
Oh,
that's so sweet. That's awesome.
There's a couple Catwoman books on the way to Fuchsia and Soldier. I think by Christmas Eve. I think I just checked that tracking, but I think it'll be there by Tuesday.
I think
it was for a year. Yeah.
It definitely. I can't believe it. I can't wait.
If you guys do it on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, I might have to miss it, but I'll catch the rewind eventually. But.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, we honestly don't know what we're doing. We haven't.
Yeah, because those are 2 hard days to have anybody be around because people are busy with families and stuff.
Right.
Well, I was gonna say when Matt was showing that Christmas book of Catwoman, I've been getting tagged in the Christmas books, and I don't really have too many of them.
I don't have many either. I have 4, maybe,
but I
maybe
have
2.
I love that one where she's just holding it and Santa's knocked out.
I just recently posted because you posted that, and then I had to answer and say, let me post that cover too, because it's just a great cover.
Yeah, it really is.
It's amazing.
So I want to
she does look like everyone else, Bueller, but
a little bit earlier, Perry said that I really like Major X. Okay, as you can see, you guys, since I've been on this camera, I have not moved. I have not got up. Major X is sitting right next to me. Number 1,
oh man, at all times.
Number 2, number 3.
Oh no.
Number 4, number 5, and number 6. Literally sitting on the table that I'm at right now because I just did a Rob Liefeld
read of the year.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I actually thought the story was pretty good, and I'm a Rob Liefeld fan, and the story was surprisingly kind of fun. It was just kind
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
it wasn't like a great story, but it was a fun story, and I think there's a difference between a great story and a fun story, and that was a fun read.
Did you say you just did an interview with him?
No, we just did a video about Rob Liefeld. So my buddy Bob was over here, and we just filmed it. So I got all these Rob Liefeld books sitting on my table right next to me, and those were literally sitting right there.
Harry called it. That's awesome.
So I enjoyed that book. I don't know if any of you guys picked that one up this year, but it was kind of fun.
I think I only had gotten the first or second one. I think the first 2.
I was laughing at the whole thing with the whole first appearance of Major X with that Spider-Man Deadpool. Yeah. That was so hilarious the way Rob was just going off on that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I have to mention, did you see Bacon Chat? No, I didn't. He asked, wait, where'd it go?
Hey, do you know?
He asked if, he said, Soldier Fuchsia, did the Christmas goodies reach you guys? If not, blame NYC. He gave me your address.
Wait, what?
Well, I gave him the same address that I sent you for Silver Age appearance of Catwoman 2 that she confirmed was the right address. So yeah, I don't know.
We didn't know. We might have to go check the mail, I guess.
Yeah, Bake sent out like stuff that his mom like made, like homemade like stuff for like baked goods and stuff. Like I got like a caramel popcorn, like that caramel corn stuff that she made. It was super awesome. And then there was like this apple butter stuff. I got that too.
Apple butter.
Yeah. And then he also threw in a comic, which I never had a chance to like show on a stream or whatever, but he threw in this comic as well for me. This is like the Perillo Virgin variant for ASM #2, which is like the first cover appearance of that new villain Kindred? That I still have no idea what his role is in ASM. Kindred? Yeah, Kindred, yeah. But it's a great cover.
Yeah, man.
Really awesome Virgin cover right there from Perillo. So thank you, Meek. Really appreciate that, buddy. I ate the food like right away, so it's all gone. I can't show the food.
Oh, thank you so much, Bake. Like that's awesome. We'll definitely have to check it. Yeah.
Sounds probably sitting in your mailbox, like in one of those. Do you guys have locker mailboxes?
Yeah. The parcel lockers.
Which was threw us off when I was talking with Sean and Stay Puft when they sent us when he sent the AOK. I called the office. It gotten delivered to the office, and they said it was too big to fit in their mailbox. I'm like, but our mailbox thing is pretty big, so it's like, wait, how much did he send? And it was still great. It was great. Just picked it up from the office, but
yeah, I packed your AOK with like a box inside of a box where there's like a lot of paper or whatever, and that kind of messed me up a little bit because if it's not a standard size, like they charge you more or whatever, but it's fine. Like I hate the what's it called, the USPS priority flat rate boxes. I feel like I only use those to put them inside of a bigger box, really. Like for me, there's been so many of those boxes that have arrived just like smushed, you know what I mean? So I hate those. So whenever I'm sending something out as a gift, like I try not to use those except for like packaging on the inside of a bigger box because I'm paranoid about it.
Reinforce it.
Yeah, reinforce it. Yeah.
You can't trust the post office. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I use FedEx. Like I use FedEx for like if it's like if I really want to make sure it gets there, like whatnot. Not for just like a regular sale or whatever, but like gifts, I tend to use FedEx instead.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be so nervous when I send off that Catwoman to get CGC. I'm going to be shaking.
Yeah, because it could benefit from a press and a clean also. So
we'll probably have it press and clean too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
So another thing I wanted to get into is some of your favorite pickups that you got this year. I mean, Grail, if you got Grail, whatever you checked off some of your lists.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to think about this, honestly, because I haven't even had a chance to even, like, think about that. Damn.
I'll get one.
I'll get one.
We got some stuff on my desk here, but...
There was one that I read this year that I actually enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to, was Postal. When you had gotten me like all the trades to Postal, I fell in love with that story. I thought it was really good. Like some of the stuff that came out this year, I don't think was as good as what I read in the trades, but it's still
the older stuff.
Yeah, it's still good. I love that, and I had just read that one this year. So I mean, it didn't come out this year, but it was one of my favorite reads.
I'm gonna go with a book that I got at the very beginning of the year. And if you saw my Instagram post on my IG Comic Fan Rewind, it was this book.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The goodness.
Yeah, I won this off a raffle. I was shocked I won. And I ain't participating in the raffle after this until the end of this year because I was like, I had a good streak with raffles. I got a couple from Strictly Comics and another one from him, Everything Comics. So after this, I let me lay low on the raffles, because you know how raffles get. You spend a lot, but you don't win it. You feel like it's a lotto. You're blowing a lot of money and you ain't getting nothing in return. So this was like my major grail that I got, and let me lay low.
Yeah,
I'll probably just show this as not necessarily that this physical book itself is my favorite pickup of the year, but this represents the whole New York Comic Con trip when Jeffrey was here for a week, and we went to the con and hung out with a bunch of different community members and just had a blast. And this Ryan Otley commission on this blank ASM #1 is kind of like one of the highlight pickups from that epic week, So I picked up a whole lot of awesome stuff this year, some incredible art, a lot of stuff I haven't even shown, a lot of great books. But really, that whole New York Comic Con experience was like my favorite everything of 2019 comic book community-wise. Yeah,
it was awesome. It was awesome when he was out there.
Yeah,
there's so many big cons this past year, and it's good. It's so awesome how even there's so many more people in the community are meeting up with everybody else in person, and it's just so awesome. This past year, the community has really grown, and it's just so cool that everybody's just meeting at cons and.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll be getting into that in a little bit too. Some of our favorite community moments and stuff. Mm-hmm. Bacon Chat dibs on NYC's couch this year.
Look at Matt just digging through all these books to show for what he picked up this year. I mean, it's just he's got like a pile. He's just a Matthew like a Lego set of books just stacking them up.
Our book's still out of
book
order.
Number 35 of the year, and we're counting down.
Hey, I've left a lot of them in there that were my faves. So,
this was a weird year for me because really, I didn't really buy anything this year at all. When I think about it, when I think about the cons I went to, I didn't even buy any books when I went there. And then as far as my pickups this year were mainly just people that sent me books, AOKs and stuff like that, which are some pretty major books. A couple of my grails I wanted.
Yeah.
Steve Whiting just popped in here. He's one of the guys that sent me the Hulk 181.
Yeah.
Along with X-Men 94. But, as far as what I actually bought and spent, I can't think of anything I spent more than $10 on this year, to be totally honest.
So it's Major X #1 again then.
Yeah, it's Major X #1. No, it's Major X 0. Major X 0. That's the.
There you go. Okay.
But yeah, no, I hardly bought anything this year. I sent out a lot of books, and the ones I did buy were just automatically sent out. So as far as adding to my grail with my own purchases, I didn't get anything really.
Well, I know you lived through those 50-cent bins, Beulah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a reason why I'm not selling any Bueller boxes right now. I've gone through those 50-cent bins pretty good, and there's what's left right now is not what I would send out in my big boxes. Let's just put it that way. So that's the whole reason I don't sell those anymore, because I ran out of books, and the pickings are pretty slim right now. So
yeah,
took all the good stuff out of them bins, man. Now you're not getting it.
I did. I gotta go to a different part of the state.
So you gotta raid another part of the state.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're planning on doing in 2020. Go to other parts of the state.
Well, I can't wait to see you down here in Florida, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We were just talking about that today. I was actually hanging out with my buddy Bob and Sam this morning at a coffee shop and stuff, and we were talking about it a little bit and stuff. So this should be a lot of fun. Just everyone down there, and just getting to meet everybody and just hang out. And it's something, Steve was the one who invited me a while back to come on down, and I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, man, that sounds awesome. Because last year you guys all got together and you autographed that book for me and stuff, along with a bunch of other people stay up. And when you guys sent that to me, and just to see all those names on there, man, I want to get this on my own. I want to literally hand this to Stay Puft or Matt or whoever and say, hey, can you sign this for me next time? And so I get the chance to do that coming up. So really looking forward to it. Because these guys in here in the Pacific Northwest that I know, I'm getting tired of these guys. Right? Man, get out of here. Enough of those guys. I want some new people.
but Beulah, you get to occasionally chat with Sleepy Reader.
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to get him on the show.
Because I've been following him for a long time before this community really blew up.
Yeah,
I like that guy.
He's been around a while, and it was funny because we were supposed to meet for coffee like a couple weeks ago, and we were going to meet on Thursday. And I said, hey, why don't you come to my shop? I'll buy you a coffee or whatnot, or get you a coffee. He's like, okay. So I go in there on Wednesday, the day before, and he's already there. He's sitting on the couch at the coffee shop. And I look over, I go, that's Sleepy Reader. I go, what is he doing here? Type thing. And I look over, he's like, oh, I thought I'd just come and check it out and see if it's a good place. And we literally sat there for hours that day and just talked about comics and stuff like that. So, nice. Trying to get him on the show. I'd like to have, we're planning on, Bob and Sam are a go for this Thursday. We're going to do something like a end of the year type show, kind of like this, but in-house type thing. We'll all be together and then try to get Sleepy Reader as well to come over and have all four of us and, in-house type round table, just talk about the year. I think it would be kind of cool.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I really like the format of, this is fun, but, Stay Puft gets together all the time with some of the Florida guys. It's different when you're with someone in person. The enjoyment is so much more when you're when you're hanging out with Jeffrey, when he came to New York, you guys had a blast.
Yeah, we did.
It goes a long way when you guys are in person, just hanging out and just talking and stuff. So I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because, I always say as far as we know, there really isn't any other community members in our state. There's some that are, somewhat close. Like Beulah and Sam and stuff aren't really too far from us. And
one of these days we'll venture outside of the state and go to a con and meet up with everybody.
Yeah,
I think 2019 was the first year where I got to do a significant amount of that, like meeting up with community members in person. Whether it was in New York City or not in New York City, because I met up and hung out with Ray RB3 in Vegas all day. I hung out with JP's Budget Collecting at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago for 2 days. Jeffrey came here and we met so many people here. Chris, I Got Issues, we hung out with him at New York Comic Con as well. It was
then you go to Boston.
I went to Boston. Hung out with Vasco, Comic Head 84, Sam I Am, Joe Ryan, comics. So I got to meet and hang out with a whole bunch of community members this year, and that was really, really fun. And I'll get to do it all over again next year, just in different cons. C2E2 in February, MegaCon, April. I'll do New York Comic Con again because I have to, because it's my backyard or whatever. But there might be a couple other trips, we'll see. But that's definitely been the best part of this whole thing, for sure. I'm never gonna be so serious about my channel where I really want to make it the biggest thing in the world. It's just the friendships and stuff that are really, that's why I'm in it, really.
Exactly, that's what matters the most about it, and it's just so incredible. I was gonna say, Matt, weren't you gonna be coming down our way here soon?
Yeah. So my little sister just got called to serve a mission for church. And so she's going to go to the MTC there in Provo.
Nice.
And she's going to be going to Boston, Massachusetts. So,
wow.
She takes off. She takes off from El Paso February something, toward the end of February. So we're going to go drop her off there in Provo. And so then we'll go up to Salt Lake and show the kids Temple Square and everything, and then definitely meet up with you guys.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to show you.
We'll have to take you to our LCS.
Our LCS for sure. It'll be. I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
Hey, Fuchsia, I was going to tell you, there's actually quite a few people in Salt Lake City that are actually a part of the community. Now, it doesn't mean that they make videos, but there's a lot of people out there that watch our videos and watch our things. They might not even have a profile on YouTube. They just watch the videos type thing, because most of the people I interact with aren't people who make videos or aren't people that leave comments. They're like, oh, I watch your show type thing and I really enjoy it. I'm like, oh, who are you? Oh, I never leave a comment. I go, oh, okay. So, nice to meet you. You know, I go, do me a favor, leave a comment so that way I know who you are, type thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Salt Lake City that I've talked with over the last year are from there. So they're out there. They just gotta dig a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's okay. No,
because I tell you that all the time. It's there's a lot of people that watch that don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to comment when you're like watching on TV or even an iPad. Honestly, frankly, I'll be honest. Like, like unless I'm watching it, literally sitting down at my computer and watching YouTube, and then maybe on my iPhone or whatever. Like, it's hard to comment right away while you're watching and stuff. You know what I mean? Like every single time. So I definitely think that there's like a large component or contingent of people out there watching a bunch of our channels that we don't know who they are, but I'm sure that they would actually be pretty cool to talk to.
All those thumb downs, like they don't leave a comment. I don't know why.
Yeah. Not all of us have, profile names with the actual city that we live in on our thing, like comic books and
yeah, that's true.
So you have to say, hey, we're in Utah or we're in Florida, or we're in Texas or whatever, and the reason I say that all the time, like where I'm from, like I live in Milwaukee, Oregon, I live in Portland, Oregon. I say that on a lot of my videos, and a lot of people will watch it and go, oh, he is, and I just live right down the street. And the guys I've met around here, they weren't doing YouTube videos. They just heard me talk about something local, and they looked me up that way, type thing. Mm-hmm. And, I'd much rather them be like really hot, like cosplay ladies. That hasn't happened yet, but my fingers crossed that does happen. So
there's always someday. It has to come eventually. But it's like my mom watches our shows. Like I was really surprised at that at the beginning of the year when we first started doing it. She's like, "Oh, I found your show." I was like, "You watched my show?" I was just surprised by that. Yeah, so it's cool.
There's creators that watch our show as well. That watch the videos. I've found as more and more time has gone on, and I've met more creators. They're familiar with the show. They watch the Shannon Muir, the artist that does all the covers, all the digital covers. Mm-hmm. He messaged me, said he's a huge fan. He watches it all the time. Him and his girlfriend watch the show all the time. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. So I mean, they're there, and why wouldn't they watch? I mean, it's what they're into. So I mean, yeah, they do pay attention. So it's kind of cool.
It kind of feels like you become this little celebrity amongst YouTubers and even Instagram, where people watch your shows and they kind of look up to you. They enjoy your content. They leave positive comments, or even if they don't, they still come to watch your show because they enjoy it. Yeah. And that's the thing with the social media, is that while I ignore the negatives and just focus on the positives, which is building the community, having friends on here, and just having a blast talking about what we love, comic books and any other thing, all the other nostalgia trips that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, I call it limited celebrity. It's limited to comic book shops and Comic Cons. That's the only place it works. I've never gone to a grocery store and have someone say, "Oh, you're Bueller." That will never happen. But if I go to a comic shop, 9 times out of 10, somebody's gonna say, "Hey, aren't you Bueller?" Yeah, I'm Bueller.
I'll tell you this much, man. My favorite time when I'm recognized as a celebrity is when I go to my kids' school to pick them up. I'll be walking in, all the little kids are like, "It's the boy who had 7." Because I went and did like a what is it called? Career day.
Yeah.
And I went and showed them all my YouTube stuff, made a video just for the school. So every time I go pick up the kids, like, "The boy who had 7" by all these little like tiny, kids. It's the best feeling.
That's cool.
That is so awesome.
This is probably my favorite story. So my daughter, both my daughter and my son, they're in their 20s, early 20s. And, when I first started doing YouTube, they're like, "Oh, Dad, what are you doing? You're embarrassing us," or whatever, whatever. I never thought anybody would watch. And they're probably right. So, like, earlier this year, my daughter was dating this guy. And she goes over to his apartment or whatnot, and she meets his roommate. And he notices, like, in the guy's thing, he had like a poster of like Spider-Man or something comic book related. And she goes, "Oh, do you like comic books?" She's like, oh yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of comic books. And he says, oh, my dad, he does a YouTube channel called Comics with Bueller. And he's like, that's your dad? I watch that guy all the time. It's so cool. And it's just like, oh my God, she was so embarrassed. I don't think she did that with the guy again. I think that was the last date.
That's so funny. It's crazy because some with I mean, Bueller and Tom have like high visibility in it, because like when we started collecting, I went to YouTube, I started watching comic stuff on YouTube, and Bueller and Tom those were the first two people. How I stumbled on, because Tom and the IG Comic Family hashtag and stuff like that.
It's funny. I remember Tom before he blew up on YouTube.
Same here, man. He used to have less subs than me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I when he was doing Instagram videos, part of the cover art challenges. That's how I remember Tom, because he was one of the guys that wanted me to participate in those challenges on Instagram. So when he started blowing up big on YouTube and got a lot of new followers, I was like, man, I remember when he invited me to the challenge.
That's awesome.
I'm in a pretty lucky position because I met Tom right away. I mean, Tom and I met each other like within 30 days of us starting a YouTube channel. We literally started 2 days apart, and we met each other, like that month type thing. And so we've been like really good friends ever since. And I'll just be honest, when a channel starts to do well and it starts to get popularity, and you might ask yourself, okay, why is this person? Are they talking to me because they want to get to know me, or are they talking to me because I have a popular channel or something like that?
Right.
And with mine and Tom, I never get that between him and I, because we've both been supporting each other from the very beginning. I mean, it's the most pure of a relationship that you can have. We've both done very well. And we both know that we're not just sitting there, oh, Tom's got a lot of subscribers or Bueller's got a lot of subscribers. We were both literally at 100 subscribers saying, go watch Comic Tom or go watch Bueller. And it's been like that from the very beginning. That's and awesome. Those relationships that you have like that, like Jeffrey was one of the first guys I ever met from the comic book community. I love Jeffrey to death. # vote Jeffrey. And, I know him. He's a pure friend. It's not because I have a lot of subscribers or anything like that. It's because he's a friend of mine. And, it kind of grounds you sometimes, because I want to be friends with the community. I want to talk with everybody and enjoy this stuff, because I really do. It really is fun. I enjoy sitting here, talking with Stay Puft. I don't get enough time with Stay Puft. I get enough time with his Instagram, because I always look at his Instagram. It's awesome. Matt, I'm getting really tired of. Matt, I can't take it. I keep giving the guy $1. I'm tired of it. I hate the fact that I missed the opportunity to meet you two in Utah earlier this year. That would have been so great, and I wish it just didn't. Obviously, we couldn't control what happened. And I always said to NYC that he looks really nice, and if anytime he needs an extra person on his couch or whatnot, during the Comic-Con season, I'm there for you, buddy.
Well, Bueller, I have you to thank for my Comic Space Books Space NYC channel strategy.
Oh,
that actually came from I forget what show you both you and I were on. It might have been on Matt's channel, possibly. I don't even remember, but I remember we were backstage and we were talking like certain YouTube like best practices and tips and tricks and whatnot, and you were like, I think you were the one who told me that making that change would actually help my channel, and it actually has, because
nice.
Like people, like if you search Midtown Comics, if you search anything comic book or New York related, now my content starts coming up on the first page and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
I have also started making videos where like I'm literally showing people what I get from Midtown Comics on a weekly basis, and that helps. But like, I think my channel is like picked up a little bit more steam since then. Not that I'm even like, not that it was like really that important to me, but it actually has. So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's little things like that and they do help. It's the little, it's honestly, it's a lot of luck involved, to be honest. I mean, people ask me all the time, how has your channel been so successful? It's luck. It's literally luck. I got lucky. That's pretty much that's it. So.
Nah, I don't buy
I don't
it.
know.
Shut up,
buy that, Bueller.
It's more than luck.
It's more than luck.
Bueller, you're good, bro. You're good at
part
what
of
you
it,
do.
but I think it's mostly effort and like your personality and stuff.
Yeah.
See, and one of the most important things with, and this goes back to like when we used to have a Twitch, when we used to video game stream and everything, it goes back to even then. Like one of the most important things I always think with streaming and content creating, well, that, but is consistency.
That too.
Is always.
Yeah.
2020, we're going to work on our consistency.
Yeah.
Since we did go on that hiatus earlier in the year, but yeah, no, it was a total blizzard that day. Of course, it snows on the one day we would have a chance, but that's definitely going to be a goal in 2020 is to, meet more people in the community in person and find those ones that you're talking about, Bueller, that are in Utah. It's like, hey, it's because there's a coffee shop that's the Watchtower that we still haven't been to. We have to make a point together. It's a coffee comic book shop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, because we've been trying to kind of meet a little bit more like local people too, and
now I know there's more locals. I'm gonna go hunt them out.
Yeah,
I'll find them. Yeah.
But there's actually a thing here in Portland where like local comic book like people that want to be like artists or creators just get together like once a week at a coffee shop. And I went in there. There was like 100 people there one time, and they're all just people that want they like drawing comics and just hanging out type thing. It's Portland's kind of known for giving opportunity to people like that, so that's kind of why they do it. But there's tons of people. It's nice to know that they're out there. Just like I said, you just kind of have to dig a little bit to find them. And all of a sudden you find a Sam and they won't go home.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I love Sam.
I have to admit, I love this BS show. The first time I saw that, I was like, why is he being so rude? And then I was like,
cried. I think I cried laughing. At,
I know, it's
like
so good.
On the third episode or something, maybe it was. Third episode, yeah.
Oh, the BS show?
Yeah.
I said this. We go back and we watch it like as soon as we're done. We'll go back and watch it. And there was this one part like a couple weeks ago to where we just argue with each other for like a minute and a half, and it's like what? And it's so funny. I just loved it. We were laughing so hard. Like he kept putting the comic book on the microphone, putting the comic book on top of the microphone. I'm like, stop putting the book on the microphone. And he kept doing it. I was like, come on, you gotta stop. He's like, what? Give me a break. It's a lot of fun.
I accidentally do that all the time too, where I hit the microphone with it.
Because it was my lunch break when I first saw episodes of BS, and it was great.
Yeah.
He's comical.
He's got them all on the playlist. There's like 16 episodes of the BS show.
I'm gonna say favorite community moments is like watching Fuchsia and Soldier unbox the AOK that I sent to them. It's always great to see people get AOKs, like that episode with Matt and Super Russ and Metal Rock. That whole episode was just amazing. The whole 12 days of Christmas was just awesome. All the community moments that I've seen on YouTube this year was just fantastic. It makes you feel special. It makes you feel like you're a part of a special bond with these people that's across the country or even across on another continent. Yep. And even the Comic Geek McD, the AOKs that he got and his enthusiasm and excitement when he opens it up, it's just so amazing to see, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just that whole, AOK related moments are definitely like, it's hard to say that there's anything better than those moments, like, in general, that happen. But there's so many of them,
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, for us at least, it's really been mostly just because it was about a year ago when we did our first stream.
Yeah.
Well, because the first time I went live again was Jeffrey's New Year's thing, and yours was right after that. Yeah, she fell asleep at like 6 o'clock at night that night.
To be fair, I had gotten up at like 6 a.m. the 31st. on the 31st, I got up at 6 a.m. and worked till 5. So by the time I got home, I was going to go on the stream with him, and I passed out. I slept through the new year last year. Like, I'm old. I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't remember what time I passed out watching that, but it was I couldn't make it all the way to the end. It was not possible.
I think I watched about two hours before I was done.
Yeah.
But no, it's
the East Coasters, honestly. And this is, me and Puff, probably are the only ones that can really, I guess, have the experience. But a lot of this stuff goes so late for us East Coasters, and I try to stay awake and I try to stay up to support a lot of the late night stuff, but it's hard, honestly. When it's 3 a.m. over here and somebody's just starting their thing, and you get the notification and you're like, well, I want to support this person, but I also want to actually not be a zombie at work tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I have to make that choice of okay, there's only so much, there's only so much you can watch also, because there's so many good content creators and people in the community making good content. And then if you're also trying to make content, that also takes time, right? So there's that balance too. Yeah. And then there's literally more people making good content than it is physically possible to watch.
Exactly.
During a 24-hour period.
It's Rod, Justin Rican, and his shout out show. He's shouting out more channels that I'm going to subscribe to, but am I going to catch all their videos? Right. I was like, I might watch one video out of probably 8 they posted in the week.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to keep up sometimes when you got so many followers and subscribers and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm always watching the replays of very many shows, and it's my YouTube used to just be music videos or random videos I see. Now when I go to YouTube, it's all different. It's everybody I've subscribed to in the community, and it's just so incredible to see how much.
Yeah, I think that in itself is is a great moment or thing. Just the fact that there's it seems there's no way to actually track the numbers, but it seems like there's way more people making content in the space now than there was at the beginning of the year. I don't have any hard facts or numbers or number of channels, but it feels that way.
I would agree.
It's just crazy, with how this kind of happened too. It was kind of organic, where it wasn't forced. It just naturally happened kind of over time. And and it's crazy to think that, we're all this close. We've all the amazing stuff that's happened, and it's only really been about a year. Mm-hmm. Think another year from now, 5 years from now, it's definitely awesome to think about. Yeah.
It's restored my faith in humanity, and it makes me want to be a better person, because everyone here is just so supporting of everybody else, and it's just so positive, and it's an incredible outlet, to know that there's people who you can connect with and everything. It's incredible.
Yeah. I like watching Matt's 12 Days of Christmas, and I really enjoyed those.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But the thing after I'm watching those, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised about the community anymore, because I've seen how generous the community is. Mm-hmm. So the stuff that Matt does, and the stuff that when people do AOKs or anything like that, it's no longer to me surprising, because it kind of goes on the board. We're all kind of like that. We all kind of fall in that same category. I'm watching Matt's 12 Days of Christmas, and he needs to do some more, because I know you have to get $100 in your Google AdSense to get the money. And I'm trying to do my best to help that out. That's why I've been wanting the $100 bills, trying to get that roll. But besides some of the AOKs and the content like that and the live shows that we have, I really enjoyed some of the stuff that White Whale did. With when he's producing some content, and he's looking back on artists, and he's giving you some history on some artists and stuff like that. I'm really enjoying the stuff that John is doing with his reviews and his character reviews. He's a character for every book that he does, and he's editing the video, and it looks fun. It's fun to watch, and everything. I really like stuff like that. Obviously my videos are more edited like that, so I kind of gravitate towards stuff like that. But just seeing the creativity that people have and they're putting out there, it's fun to see that type of thing. So I enjoy stuff like that.
Same.
It is, yeah.
I agree. Yeah,
John's
his
reviews.
His characters have been great.
Yeah, they're so good.
I'll give you a perfect example. He doesn't really do stuff anymore, but I think his name is Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And he did those Hulk Smash review videos.
They're so good, man.
I love them. They were so. He only did like a handful of them, and he like I said, I don't think he does stuff anymore. But they were so fun, and I laughed and enjoyed watching them and stuff like that. Yeah. But when something like that pops up, I'm like, oh man, that's good stuff right there. I enjoy it.
Indeed.
I'm glad you guys brought up the 12 Days of Christmas thing, because that's definitely one of mine. Is one of my favorite moments this year as well. It just brought the community even closer over this short amount of time. And I don't think I've cried so much in probably decades, I would have to say, because I normally don't. It usually takes me a lot, and it was just really awesome to see. But getting into the next one, looking ahead to 2020. So what's some of your guys' like goals, collecting goals this next year? We could start with NYC.
Damn, I was hoping you could start with someone else.
All right, or Bueller.
Honestly, like I thought maybe this question might be asked, but it's something that I haven't had a ton of time to think about. If I'll be honest, like I know that I want to scale back. Like that's a broad term, you know what I mean? Like scaling back, but I know that like that's what my 2020 is going to look like, is like scaling back on scaling back on new books. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm scaling up on old books though either. You know what I mean? I think I'm scaling back in general as a collector, because I've achieved a lot of my collecting goals already, and really like what they were goals for a reason. Like I don't need to always overwrite another, one goal with another. Like if I achieve a bunch of my collecting goals, like to Bueller's point, he said he didn't buy a lot this year. You know what I mean? Like I think that's going to be me next year, because I've bought a lot the last like 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? And I've gotten to a point where like I don't have a ton of goals left. So I can take my time with those the next several years, like the goals I have left, and like maybe just like be much more selective this year. So that's not very specific, but that's like, I guess that's my collecting goal so far for 2020.
Yeah, that's kind of with us too, since we did trim like 80% of our hold down, just kind of keep with that.
Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Bueller, for 2020?
I don't really have any collecting goals like what I wanted yet. Honestly, if I don't get another comic book as far as an old book, the whole next year, I'd be fine with what I have, to be honest.
Same.
My goal is to read more books. That's my goal this year. 2020, I want to read books. I found myself at the end of this year being motivated, from recent shows I've done with Gem Mint and meeting some other gentlemen and stuff, and like they're reading all these books and they're reviewing these books, and it's something I want to focus on, because I'm really enjoying reading the books more so than I am, collecting the books. Yeah. To where my personal goal is not to have to buy any books. I just want them to send them to me. It's like a PDF copy or whatever it is. If they want to send me a book to review, I'll read it and review it type thing. But that's my goal. I want to read more. I think I'm in a time in my life to where I'm okay with my collection. I didn't really add too much to it this year. In fact, I sent out majority of it. I mean, it's gone from 20,000 books down to 3,000 books in a year. And I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me one bit. If I go to MegaCon and if I don't come home with a book, I'm okay with it, because it's not about buying another book. It's about just, enjoying my time and doing stuff like that. So I really want to.
I'll probably end up buying more books for other people than myself.
Yeah, you're gonna walk out of MegaCon with some books that you ain't buy.
Probably,
yeah, for sure.
But there's such good books out there, great stories, and stuff that's coming down, and I'm just looking forward to like I said, my taste is kind of changing. It's kind of shifting away from superhero books to something else. That doesn't mean I won't still enjoy those books, but there's so much good stuff out there, and 2020 is going to be a good year. So I'm looking forward to, really focusing on enjoying the books themselves. Not too much the cover. I don't really care about what cover I get. I just care about what's in between the cover. And so that's what I'm going to.
Yeah, I can definitely identify with that. I'm even to the point where it's like I feel like I have not enjoyed the collection I have as much as I should. You know what I mean? Like almost like none of the content I make is about stuff I already have in my collection. Yeah. It's all about stuff I'm getting or stuff I'm reading or specific stories. But like I haven't done a great job of like organizing my own stuff that I've built up over 6 years. You know what I mean? And like, letting myself be like in the moment with my current collection. Like I feel like that's what I'm going to be doing more of. And the reading thing also, like that's why I'm personally am gravitating more towards digitals, because the amount of stuff I want to read is only increasing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the amount of space I have to store the books I want to read is not. So I have that problem. So I need to figure out my exact solution for that. But that's something I know I need to figure out.
Yeah, I can definitely identify.
You see what Barbarian said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop buying food.
Yeah, just stop buying things like food and bills. Don't give the kids toys or clothes, and you'll be there. No sweat.
No sweat at all.
All right. Yeah, because I can, like I said, I can definitely identify with that as well. I mean, because we do have like trades and omnis and stuff.
We have a lot.
Like Bueller said, great stories, classic stories. That we would love to read for the first time or reread, and
I definitely do want to read a lot more, because
time. Yeah, I wish we had more time, but
yeah, there's a lot of trades that we haven't quite read yet, and so yeah, that's definitely a good thing, to look forward to in 2020 is all the stories you're gonna read.
Yeah, I pretty much echo these guys what they're saying. I definitely want to cut back on new books.
Mm-hmm.
And start reading a lot more, because I used to be a heavy reader. I used to be able to read, my trades and some single issues and knock it out like that. But then, as work got on, overtime started happening, and I started finding myself reading less, and then I just focus on some other things. I still occasionally read, but, I just can't keep up no more.
It's hard.
You're getting so many books. And that's why I need to trim down my pool, because I'm getting like 12, 13 books, and most of the time I can read 5, 6 of them, and then the others I don't read until later on, way later on. And that's why. And I also want to do at least a wish list. I notice everybody does wish lists. They even tag me on their wish list and stuff like that. I've never really done like a year wish list, because I just go with the flow. If I know I want a book, I just wait until it presents itself. Just like I did.
I agree with you. I'm not gonna have a 2020 wish list as far as anything specific.
I pretty much just waited until it falls in my lap. It happened with ASM 129, with 300, with Teen Titans 44. They just fell in my lap, and I happily took it. Good price. It happened, but I know I always wanted Black Panther, the first appearance. That's on my list, and of course the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer and Galactus trilogy. But other than that, if I do a wish list, I do it. If I don't, I don't. But I know what specific that I want, but I don't really put it out there for people. I just say, hey, this is what I like, and I know I want that first appearance, but I'm not actively pursuing it. I just let it fall in my lap.
It's cosmic how just so many things work out that way. And so what about you, Matt? What are your goals for 2020?
So I'm going to be doing mystery boxes again.
Okay.
I need to get rid of a lot of good stuff. And I want to focus on 3 huge books And it's not necessarily like I'm going to get all 3 of them unless there's some type of miracle. But I want Fantastic Four #1. I want AF-15, and I want Hulk #1. And so those are some big books. So I need a lot of money. And so what I've been doing is I've been selling throughout this year. And actually throughout the last 2 months, I've been selling and then building up a little nest egg in PayPal. And hopefully every time I sell, I'm just leaving it there until I have a good amount of money where I can find just the right book, you know? So I'm really picky. I don't want to get a Fantastic Four that's written all over and nasty and got a bunch of Marvel chipping for 15 grand, you know? Like if I'm going to spend 15 grand, it's got to be the perfect book.
It's got to be a 9.8.
Yeah, right? No, then I'm
oh God, in that
with a nice facsimile,
right?
If only.
So yeah, so I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of good stuff that I own. I'm going to be selling a lot of the slabs that I've picked up over the last couple of years that are great characters and great books, but they're just not my favorite. And so I'll be selling a lot. And I'm like these guys. I read too much and I have too much new books back here. Too many new books. And it's just starting to build up and build up and build up. And the cool thing is I've read it all and I loved a lot of it. But I'd rather have some good old books like that Hulk one that I love Hulk. And I read the story recently and fell in love with it. I'm like, okay, I need that book now. And so I've been reading a lot of the Hulk run now. And now I'm like, okay, I see why Jeffrey loves this guy, you know? So I've fallen in love with that character. And so I'd rather have that book and have less books, more quality, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at.
So the facsimile doesn't do it for you, man, does it?
It's a great reader copy.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I have, I don't know, over 400 slabs, and I'm seriously, maybe by the end of next year, I'll have 200, and then a Hulk one and an AF-15, you know? So I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of stuff. And I'm going to try something new. I don't know if I've told anybody this, but I'm going to do a whole raffle/mystery box thing, you know? Because Stay Puft was saying it earlier. He does raffles. And then when he doesn't win, he's like, didn't get anything for his money, you know? So I thought about like taking, like, let's say, for instance, Amazing Spider-Man 129, First Punisher. I've got one in the 7.5 white pages, right? So normally for a raffle, that book goes around $1,200. So I would do 10 spots for $120, just say, right? But instead of doing that, add in a little bit extra cushion to make up my money and then add in some other books. So not only do you get a raffle spot and everybody gets a raffle, but the rest of the spots that you pick are a mystery box that you get as well, you know? And so it's just a thought, something I've been thinking about doing. So that way people not only just throw money away and then you don't win, you just lost $120, but some people will also get some good books for that, you know? So we'll see. I mean, it'll help me get rid of a lot of stuff that I don't have to sell one at a time. Still quality books, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, whoever wins gets a ASM 129 7.5 white pages, you know? And then I just take that money, put it in my nest egg, and when the perfect AF-15 or Hulk 1 come in, then I have the money.
So. Mystery boxes are the worst.
I know. they sure helped me out last year, man.
Trust me, guys. I wanted to try. I wanted to try the spider booth ones, but I did not want to get addicted to buying them. Like certain people buying 2-3 boxes, you know, to get that grand prize, and you know, it's
I just don't mess with them anymore.
Yeah, I have not stepped foot that way because I don't want to get trapped into buying multiple boxes. That's a lot of money, and you might get some great books in them boxes. You're gonna get some great stuff. But you know, if your main goal is to get that grand prize, then you're gonna spend a lot to get that one prize that you really want.
Yeah. Luckily, I've been able to turn around and sell the stuff that I get in those boxes and make my money back or make more. So, like, I've done a lot of that Spider-Man booth boxes and sold some of the stuff I've gotten. I've actually made a profit. So I'm okay with it that way. But if you are like just throwing money away and you can't resell stuff, and then it starts adding up. It starts adding up for sure.
It does.
I had had individuals buy 10, 15, 20 Bueller boxes.
Oh man, that's awesome.
At a time. The one guy bought 20 boxes at one time, and multiple people bought, like, when they were coming out, they'd buy every time I'd put some out, they'd buy some type thing. So it's like, I mean, I didn't mind selling it, but I knew I'd run out eventually. So that's kind of what happened.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, 20 at a time.
Yeah, no comment on mine.
Yeah. Yeah. While I have you on, Bueller, have you ever seen this, the Destiny comics?
Oh, that's
So yeah, I did see it. I actually saw it when I went to Bungie Studios for a tour.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
They showed it to me. They took me to their merchandise department. And they showed me all their merchandise that they had coming out and that was already out, and that was actually there. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So
yeah, because I remember when they started doing the comics, they were like digital only. When they started them, it was when we were streaming and stuff still, so it was probably a couple years ago. But and I always wanted them to do like a physical one. Mm-hmm. So when I found that they finally did like the hardcover, yeah, I was stoked on that.
Have you seen the Destiny shoes that they're coming out with?
I think I did. Yeah, I seen some of them.
Yeah, I saw those too. Those were interesting.
Yeah. When was that? When you went on that?
That was probably 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months. It was before the expansion came out. So yeah. A month before the expansion came out, and so we spent the day there. So it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a Destiny show. I'll have to get you on sometime.
That game was fun, man.
Yeah. Matt you used to play it, huh?
Yeah, I used to go hard. Now my kids play it every day almost, but yeah, I haven't played a video game for about a year and a half now.
Ever since he became the boy that had 7.
Yeah.
And had to quit. When he was the boy that had 6, he could fit it in.
Yep.
But once you get to that 7, you're done. That's every day of the week. That's a kid right there.
Yeah, every day of the week.
That's all 7 days of the
week to myself, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, I gotta rock and roll. My kids actually have a Christmas play that they're gonna go perform in right now.
Awesome. Oh, that's enjoy, man.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. And
of course, it's been a good year. Thank you for having me on. I love all of you guys here in the panel, and I wish you guys the merriest of Christmases. And
see you Monday night.
Yeah, I'll see you Monday night. Man.
Yep, absolutely.
Hi guys.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Peace.
You're welcome, Fuchsia. We'll see you guys.
See ya.
Speaking of games, isn't this the Witcher thing that just dropped on Netflix? Is that based on a game? Like, I don't know anything about that, but
it was originally book, but then
it was a book. Okay.
Yeah. I've never read any of the books. I did play Witcher 3 is the only game that I played. And I
watched the first episode. It was pretty cool. It was intriguing enough for me to keep watching, but I knew nothing about the story or the characters or anything. So
right.
So bad I haven't been paying attention to the chat. I've been trying.
Well, I have.
It works.
Well, I know it's definitely a different animal when it's just us, and then when it's a show when you have like people on, it's kind of it's different.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, said I need to send this link real quick. Okay, I'm ready. Let's see. I think I had already sent it.
Work in progress.
Yeah, sorry. 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, I could stick around for like another 10 to 15, but then I got a dinner at 8 Eastern, so it's almost 7.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, because we've been going for like what, an hour and
a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Time goes by
I just
so
want to
fast.
I just got to get the homie on for sure.
See, it's like that's the thing. Like, it's just time goes by so fast, and then there's not enough time in the day to get everything done that you want to get done.
There's
so
not.
I'm over here already.
Hey guys,
ready to retire just so that I can read comics all day. And
McD,
Yo,
what's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. Sorry I'm late. I had to go and see my mum, and she lives like 2 hours away, so I had to drive there. And then there was roads that were blocked and stuff like that. But I was like, I need to get home and be on the phone.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you too, man.
How's it going, man? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Can these windows be any bigger than this, or is this like it got really squished on the screen? I noticed like it's like
I think
I don't know how he does it.
whoops.
I'm really not the tech savvy one at all. I barely know the basics to get by. You'd think I know.
That's a little bit. That's a little bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
That's better than it was before.
Yeah, this laptop's like so slow right now.
Yeah, it's an older one, but
yeah, I know. I need a.
I got this T-shirt today. I thought you would like it, Soldier.
Sweet.
Oh, it's so awesome! It's one of the like Funko ones, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Got it like.
Yeah.
Are they selling those at the shop?
Yeah, man. The shop that I'm working at just now is moving to a bigger store, so it's gonna be 3 floors.
Sweet.
So like we've already moved, and it's 2 floors now, but it's moving up to like 3. And the shop that we had before was like probably as long as my living room. It's really not that big at all. And they're selling some stuff off, and this was like £5 there, so I was like, I need to grab it. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I have one of the Funko ones. It's the one when he's like the mermaid.
How's that new Deadpool volume with just one issue's out, right? Or has there been more than one?
It's all right. It's not. I'm not gonna lie. It's not great. I'm gonna give it 3, and then I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Like I got every single variant for it because I was really excited about it, but it's not. It's not bad, but it's not like. It doesn't feel like Deadpool yet. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like it's. I don't know if it's just the writing or if it's the art. I don't know, but it's
they don't try to go through like another origin, do they? Or do they just start it? Like it just starts?
No, they just start it. It's all in Monster Island in like I think it's in New Jersey, I think, and it's good. It's just I don't know, just doesn't feel.
I think it's the artwork. The artwork is I don't care for the artwork in that new Deadpool.
Really?
It just looks.
It's Chris Bachalo, isn't it? Who does the artwork?
I'm not a big. I don't.
Yeah, me neither. It's like between him and Humberto Ramos, I really can't tolerate as much.
I like Ramos more than Bachalo, but yeah.
Yeah, same here. Obviously, I picked up that first issue of Deadpool. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my it's at the top of my stack though. I'll be reading it soon.
Did anyone read? I mean, I haven't read it yet, but I am looking forward to reading This Is Undiscovered Country #2. Did any of you guys read that yet?
I don't think
I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
I haven't read it yet.
I read
the first one. I liked the first one.
I wasn't sure about it because the first half didn't capture my attention until they got to America, and that's when I was like, oh, that wasn't surprising. So I picked up issue 2 just based off that second half of the first issue. Right. So I still gotta read it and check it out.
Who publishes that one?
Image publishes it, but it's Scott Snyder and Charles Soule co-writing, and Giuseppe Camuncoli doing the bulk of the art duties on it.
Those indies.
I actually picked up. I'm quite an Art Germ fan, and I saw this in my shop, and I had to grab it, especially because I get it at like cost price. But this is the Vampirella. I'm a big Vampirella fan. I love the cover, man. I think that's
sweet.
So dope.
All right. Yeah, hang on. I'm my computer's lagging. It's okay there. Yeah, I was pulling you. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that other Vampirella that Art Germ did. I think it was issue 2.
Yeah, or it was, or 4, I think. I can't remember. I know which one you're talking about. I think I grabbed that one actually as well. I grab them. I do read them, but like every now and then. But I pretty much just get them for cover. Vampirella.
Bake's like she just left the Blade rave.
Yeah.
Kind of does look like that.
But yeah, I had ordered that one, but yeah, it just never came.
I got to get going, guys. I've enjoyed being on here with you today.
Later, Travis.
It's always fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out.
With everybody.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, McD. Sorry you got in late. That's all right. We got to hang out a little bit. So something's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly, man.
There you
Good
go.
to see it.
Well, hey guys, have a great rest of the weekend.
Happy holidays, Bill.
Talk to you guys later.
Happy holidays.
Have a nice
All right.
Christmas, man. See you later.
Later.
Thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas.
Vampirella is like one of those things where like I'm afraid to get addicted to collecting it. Like I've got a few like sporadic, like I have like a couple random, like I got an Alex Ross like modern Vampirella cover. I got a couple other random modern ones, and then maybe like 4 or 5 of the old school like magazine size, original volume Vampirellas. But I have like probably less than 10 total Vampirellas in my collection, maybe even less than 8. I'm not sure of what the total like amount of books I have Vampirella, like, and they're all awesome, and like I'm tempted every week, like every freaking week, like
it's because those covers, man.
Yeah, dude, and like
covers draw you in.
I've been able to successfully like hold off that possible addiction, but it's hard, definitely, because those are some awesome covers.
Yeah, here's issue 6, the newest one.
Yeah, that's nice, man. That's cool. I have a question. Do you guys read any like sort of like Ninja Samurai, sort of anything like that?
Well, I like TMNT, and
the reason why I bring it up is because I've wanted to talk about this for so long, and I just got the graphic novel like maybe a week ago. I just ordered it, but I don't know if you guys have ever read this book. It's called Samurai's Blood by Owen Wiseman.
No.
Wow. I don't think I've heard of that.
When did it come out?
If you seriously have like 2007, I want to say.
Okay.
But if you haven't read it, I honestly 100%, you need to read it. It's so good. It's one of the best books I've ever read in my life. Like, I love it so much.
Cool.
Genuinely.
Who published it?
Samurai's Blood by Owen Wiseman. Check out. It's
Owen Wiseman. Did he go through a publishing company, or did he put it out himself?
I think it's through Image.
Oh, Image. Okay.
Yeah, I really like samurai ninja stuff like that. I was gonna say my hunter on, not to get onto Destiny again, but my hunter on Destiny, how he always looks and how I play him and stuff. It's he's very ninja.
Yes.
I piss people off in the Crucible in the PvP because I just run around with my sword just taking them off. And there's a new emote they just put in the game where it's that blade wipe that Ronin does in Endgame.
Oh, nice.
So every time
I was wondering if we were going to get into movies on this show or not, like top movies or whatever.
It's Image.
Oh, it is Image.
I want to show you guys genuinely one page that I took one look at this page and I was done. Like, that was me. I was hooked.
All right, let's see here. I'll make you big on here.
Yeah, it's red.
Nice.
Just that picture of that, just the picture of the ninja there. I was like, that's so dope. Like, I love that. I think that's so cool.
That's crazy. That panel on the left too reminds me of a panel in
it's called Samurai Blood.
Samurai's Blood, yeah.
Samurai's Blood.
It's honestly, it's so good. Like, it's one of the best independent books I've ever read in my life, hands down. I've read this at least 12 times, and I never get bored of it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued for sure.
What movies did you have in mind in a copy?
Yeah,
I did. I don't want to like throw in a subject at the 11th hour that could go off the rails, but like
we did have.
I mean, for me, like my favorite movie of the year, which also happened to be a comic book movie, I guess you could argue, was Joker. That's my number one. So that's my favorite movie of the year. I think Knives Out is probably a close second, which is like a murder mystery style movie, which I thought was fantastic. But my favorite like comic book movie like experience was Endgame. I mean, like, like I saw Endgame 3 times in the theater, and then when they brought it out and they were like, stay tuned to the end for some bonus material. Remember how they like brought it out again for like one last push to beat the record or whatever? I went and saw it a 4th time. So like I saw that movie in the theater 4 times. So I freaking had a blast, and a lot of people did with that movie. So like
we went 3, didn't we?
Yeah, we did go 3. I do really want to see Knives Out and Joker. Those 2 movies I really do need to see. no matter.
I thought Joker was fantastic. Film, in general, like I struggle to call it a comic book movie because it didn't really seem to be based on any sort of comic book canon or comic book related, interpretation of the character, right? So, but it's a comic book company that was behind it, so I guess and it is still a comic book character. So that's a debatable one, but yeah.
I would still say it is because it's within it. It's within the realm of it. Whether it's based off an actual comic book itself or if it's a standalone movie, it's still within the realm of comics.
It's definitely within the realm. Yeah,
I would agree that it's a comic movie.
Yeah, sure. when we do finally see it, I've always been of the mindset that when I go into it, I'm just gonna kind of with the mindset of like an Elseworld story or something kind of type thing.
That's basically what it is. I mean.
I haven't seen Joker. I mean, I definitely agree with you that the best experience for me, just because of the hype, and it was a great movie, was Endgame. Endgame was phenomenal for me. But I do see I have seen. I haven't seen Joker. I actually really liked Aquaman. Actually, I really enjoyed Aquaman.
It was good. Yeah.
Which one?
Aquaman.
Aquaman. Yeah, I had fun with Aquaman. It wasn't my favorite, but that was actually technically 2018. Which is kind of crazy. So we can't include Aquaman on that 2019 list.
Well, it depends on when you saw it, because it came out the end of 2018, but people probably didn't see it till January.
You had 2 months to see it in 2018. You had November and December to see it in 2018. But
it came out December, I think.
No, it came out in November. Right? No, it came out in November 2018.
When did Captain Marvel come out? That one was
Captain Marvel came out in
April 2019.
March. Of 2019. Yeah, March/April.
That one did come out this year. Okay.
Shazam came out this year as well.
Shazam came out February 2019.
Yeah. I enjoyed Shazam as well.
I enjoyed Shazam a lot. I wouldn't. It's not above Endgame or Joker for me, but it was a charming movie. It was super charming and fun.
It was like I always base a movie if it's good. If I'm gonna buy it, if I'm gonna go out and take my time and want to go and buy that movie, that makes it a good movie for me. So after I went out there, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to buy that movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Bake said Captain Marvel was better than I expected.
I agree. I enjoyed Captain Marvel quite a bit.
I just hate Brie Larson with a passion. I hate her.
I know.
Watch that movie at any time. If somebody gave me
a big fan
pot of poo or that movie, I'd go for the pot of poo.
I liked the movie. I saw it in the theater, but I haven't seen it since. It's like a middle of the pack kind of movie for me, as far as as far as compared to all the other MCU movies. It's kind of in the middle for me. It wasn't it's not a movie I'm dying to rewatch all the time or anything,
Yeah.
Right. Well, I didn't think it was too terrible.
I mean the movie itself, yeah, it was all right. Like Kavi was saying, it's middle of the pack for me too, but yeah, I can't stand Brie Larson either.
Yeah, I'm sure I love Captain Marvel. That's the thing. I think she's told badass.
Exactly.
But it just puts after that movie, it puts such a bad taste in my mouth. I just don't want to read anything about Captain Marvel. I don't know why. I just don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Yep. To each their own.
Because I do love her.
Exactly.
Yep. No.
I mean, and then TV show wise, Watchmen, which honestly has just blown my mind, to the 11th degree. I never thought somebody would be able to make something Alan Moore worthy out of Watchmen that is completely original, and it actually has happened for me anyway. I think it's
I really want to see that.
It's so good. It's
on HBO, isn't it?
Yeah, the season just finished, so it's bingeable now. But I mean, yeah, I think HBO is the only place you can get it, HBO Now or Go or whatever. Maybe they'll put it out. Maybe they'll put it out as a DVD thing or whatever. I don't know.
If they do that, then I hope
the Blu-ray thing.
Yeah, so
would you put it higher than Mandalorian?
Almost 2 hours.
I do put Watchmen higher than Mandalorian. I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than I am a Watchmen fan. But if I just had to objectively compare the two things as TV show programs, Watchmen's a better show. And long term, what's going to mean more to me? Probably Mandalorian, just because I'm a big, massive Star Wars fan. But I can still separate my obsession with Star Wars with how good the Watchmen show is. It's that good. It's a piece of art. It's it's the best written show and it's the most artistic show in my opinion of the year. So to me, it's hard to top from this like pure like comparing it onto its own thing type level. No, fan loyalties involved, just complete separation. Watchmen.
And I obviously have to ask you this. Don't worry, we're not going to get into spoilers or anything. We haven't seen it yet, but Kavi, you saw the Star Wars movie.
Probably. I did, and I was supposed to see it for a second time this morning, but the friend I was going with, like, he had to reschedule or whatever, and I didn't want to just go sit there alone, to see it the second time kind of thing. So instead, I returned the tickets and then bought tickets for tomorrow morning so that he could bring his daughter. I love seeing Star Wars with kids, so like I was like just the idea of like him bringing his daughter and us going to see it tomorrow instead. I was like, yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to see it for a second time tomorrow. Without getting into spoilers, I thought it was good, not great. That's it. Good. That's all I will say. Good, not great.
Yeah, because for me, I haven't read any reviews or anything, but just from kind of what I've just been hearing and seeing, it's so mixed so far from what I've been seeing.
And justifiably so, I will say. I would say that it's the kind of movie that a mixed reaction is justified because it's got a lot of good stuff in it, but it's not perfect,
I don't know if you guys heard any of this, because I haven't seen anybody really talking about it, but remember, like, I think it was maybe almost a month ago, one of those like comic news apps I have, remember it came up with that alert that something about Kevin Feige working on something Star Wars in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Remember
that?
I
heard about that, but I don't know like what solid plans or what that actually means. Really, like, at all.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, if it is, like, I wonder what it could be. Like, are they giving him, like, his own trilogy, or I don't know, but
could be.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I feel like he's going to be kind of busy.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's overseeing, like, the Marvel TV disappeared all of a sudden, Jeff Loeb's out. A lot of those other people under Jeff Loeb are being moved over, to whatever the new, Marvel TV thing is,
I think they folded it into Marvel Studios.
Yeah, they folded into Marvel Studios, and so he's got to oversee all the Disney Plus development. And then supposedly also the comic publishing side has been folded over to Kevin Feige, and I have no idea what his actual involvement or like contribution is to the comic side.
I've been seeing him referred to as like the president of Marvel.
Well, he's been the president of Marvel Studios for a while, and now he's added chief like creative officer or something, or chief something like that officer or whatever. But it wouldn't surprise me if like ultimately he was like the president of all of Marvel, which makes sense.
He would deserve,
it's crazy. I mean, he definitely deserves it. I mean, what is it? 24 films they've done now.
Yeah, I don't know. I started losing track.
It's like 24, 25, but I mean, for the most part, every single one of them a hit. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's an exception here and there, but
there's of course.
I mean, financially, I think all of them are kind of a hit. So.
Well, they've definitely all been financially successful for sure.
Going back a little bit though, like you're talking about Star Wars, like I want to see it, I've not seen it yet, and I loved every single one, like hands down.
Yeah.
But what did bug me a little bit is like the big words of it's the end of the saga. Like it's not really though, because we all know that more films are gonna come out. Like whether they're spin-offs or not, there's still gonna be Star Wars movies that are coming out. I know like it's the end of the saga, as in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but like it's not the end of like they made it out to be like.
I mean, I think the more accurate way to say is it's the end of a film where any character that was in the original trilogy will show up in. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll leave it that vague. I'm not going to get into any spoilers or anything, but like,
right.
You know what I mean? But I think that's the more accurate way of saying it. But that doesn't sound good on like a a poster. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
it doesn't sound good in
that's
a trailer.
That's the other question I want to know as well, though. If they're gonna, like, because obviously they'll probably do spin-offs like Obi-Wan or stuff like that, right? So, like, if they do that, does that mean that those characters that we did see in those films will be back in those? Do you know what I mean? If they're prequels before,
I wouldn't be surprised if they did show up eventually, or that they did do spin-off movies for the newer characters down the line, or
just because of how
whatever.
popular they are, you know, like,
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
You know, like, for Han Solo.
Yeah,
like,
for sure, and for a lot
whatever.
of kids, those are the original characters for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's really a whole nother generation of kids with their own experience. Like for example, like people our age kind of grew up when the special editions were coming out in theaters, and then the prequels from there were coming out in theaters and whatnot. We're not of the original trilogy generation as far as in the movie theaters. You know what I mean? That predates everyone on this stream, but so everybody can kind of have their own experience, like learning about that universe, and then the order in which they watch the content is like seemingly can be different for anybody. So
orders.
So I'm gonna have to jump, guys. I got a dinner at 8:00. I got to run to. So
we were actually just gonna wrap it.
I'm gonna wrap up. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. We'll stick around to the end.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to go for 2 hours, but
I figured it was gonna be a little bit longer show with having a bunch of people on and stuff. So
I'm gonna say that's my bad for being like.
Don't worry about it, dude. It was good to hang with you and see you for a second.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to be able to make it.
Absolutely, so glad you're.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Thanks for this awesome year, really. So
yeah, real.
Thank you so much for joining us and being here, and just also for the AOK that we'll check it Tuesday.
Let me know when it arrives safely. If I can't join when you guys unbox it, I apologize, but I'll try to whenever you do it.
Oh yeah, we will for sure.
For sure.
All right, I just want to thank everyone again on the panel, everyone that joined us today, and everyone in chat.
Later, guys.
We'll leave it at that. Hope you all have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and see you next week.
Happy holidays.
There's the gremlin. There it is. Take us out, Sean.
You want to take us out?
Yeah. There we go.